All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. So what we wanted to do was give you kind of a quick overview of what's happening in mortgages. I know there's lots of news out there with mortgage rates being at a historic low, and also the new CMHC rules, and kind of give everybody a refresher on what the process is. And Kanchan from Bank of Montreal is here to help walk us through everything. So what we'll do to get started is give a really quick rundown on some fantastic new promotions and incentives that we have going on at both of our Greywood projects, Fish Creek Exchange and the Theodore. And then we'll jump into Kanchan, and then we'll hold off questions until the end. So if you guys do have questions, there's a chat. You can log them all in there. But to get started, my name is Kaylee. I'm a regional sales manager with Greywood Development. So we have two communities here in Calgary. We have Fish Creek Exchange, and we've also got the Theodore. So a little bit about Greywood. Greywood has been around for over 35 years, over 29,000 homes they've built, mostly in the Greater Toronto area and across North America. Greywood is a private investment firm that specializes in real estate development. So we've got a fantastic team that really takes the time to analyze every project that we invest into to make sure that, as home is one of the biggest investments you'll ever make, we feel that your real estate developer should also be an investment expert. So we feel like we're both. So the two projects that we have right now, we've got a tower going into Kensington, which is the Theodore. So Andrew's going to speak a little bit about that. And I'm going to get started with our project that I'm at right now, which is Fish Creek Exchange in Shawnee Park. So Fish Creek Exchange is located steps from Fish Creek Provincial Park and steps from the Fish Creek Lacombe LRT station. So this project here, we have currently built phase 1. So we have 3 types of product that are move-in ready. So building 1 is 98% sold. We've got a couple suites left in there. And then building 2, we've just started possessions on. So that building is coming to life. We still have some fantastic suites available in there. That's also move-in ready. And we do also have townhomes that are move-in ready as well. So we've got a collection of 3-bedroom townhomes there too. So I'll give you a little bit of tidbits about all that. So Shawnee Park, like we said, it's a 20-minute commute by car to downtown. You also have the C train, which is a 2-minute walk, and you're literally steps from Fish Creek Park. So it's one of the best locations in Southwest Calgary. You've really got everything at your fingertips, your steps to amenities, and we'll also be bringing some retail into the community as well. So it'll really make it a vibrant place to live. Some of our hot picks that we've got. So this suite here is our C model that you can see. It's in building number 2. It's move-in ready. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 721 square feet with underground parking and a storage locker. This suite starts under 300, you guys. It's a fantastic option. We have some really great deals out there. We've also got our townhomes, a 2H20, which is 1,655 square feet with a double car garage. These suites here, they are selling really fast. They're starting at $462,900, and that gets you over 1,600 square feet, which is pretty much unheard of. So there's some really fantastic options. We've also got some show suites of those if you did want to pop by and take a look. And we're also running a fantastic promotion right now as well, where you won't pay your mortgage for a full year. So there's thousands of savings to be had. This is available on our collection of move-in ready suites. So savings up to $20,000. This won't be available for very long, you guys. So if you are interested, give us a call, let us know, and we can set up a one-on-one appointment for you to come down, check out the suites themselves, and talk through the process with you. And then I'm going to hand things over to Andrea, who is our sales rep at Theodore, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on with that project.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea. I'm the sales associate at Theodore. We are now already at over 30% sold, and our construction will be starting this fall, bringing our possession to 2022. And it's a perfect opportunity for all buyers, and our buyers have consisted of everything from first-time buyers to as well as downsizers looking for a larger size condo, as well as local investors from coast-to-coast investors. So really, we have something for everybody. And as you can see here in our little graph in Sotheby's International, cited that we were one of the top 4 walkable neighborhoods in Calgary. And you can see from our chart here that we check all the boxes. We are just steps away from the LRT station. We're surrounded by parks and walkways, tons of amenities, and an 85 plus walking score. And we will be located right across from the Safeway. So you yourself can just walk across the street to get your groceries. And for my hot picks, this is one of my favorites. This is our D2A. So that flex room can be used either as an office or even as a second bedroom. So whatever you need it for, it has that flexibility. And with as you can see, oversized large balcony west facing, so you get tons of sun. And this suite's offered from floors 3 to 9. So the higher you go, you'll see all the way clear across the city to COP. And this brings you in at $375, which is a fantastic option. And the next one here, this is a garden suite. So we only have one left. This one has 11-foot ceilings, which is absolutely unheard of for a condo. It also has a private street entrance, which is great for any dog owner. And with floor to ceiling windows, a landscape patio, it's great for entertaining. And this one brings you in at under $300,000. And us too, like Fish Creek, we are launching a fantastic new incentive where we will pay half your mortgage for a whole year. So thousands to be saved, and that paired with low mortgage rates, it's definitely the best time to buy.
Yeah, so here's the contact information here for both Fish Creek and the Theodore. So if you guys wanted to set up a one-on-one appointment, we'll go back to this screen and we can also send you guys a copy of the presentation as well. So you can get in touch with us, book these appointments. Like we said, the incentives won't be around for very long, so you won't want to miss out on those. And then I'm going to pass things over to Kanchan, who is our Bank of Montreal mortgage specialist, and she's going to dive into everything that's happening in mortgages.
Yay! Hi, everyone. See, look at this picture first. I should also be sitting like this first. So basically, I'm going to cover what exactly is going to happen starting from July 1st, as there are rumors out there, some talks are there, people are not very clear what's exactly happening. So I'm going to cover this. So what exactly is going on? The people who are basically purchasing any property with a less than 20% down payment, their buying power is going to change. They will not be able to afford what they can afford as of today. Their buying power is going to reduce to by roughly around 11%, 10 to 11%. So what CMHC is Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation. They provide the mortgage insurance. They are backed up by the government agencies. So what they are doing is they are reducing the debt servicing ratio, basically. So what that means is they are making these 3 changes to their guidelines starting from July 1st. First changes are that as of today, you could spend 39% of your gross income, monthly gross income, on your house expense. Starting from July 1st, this ratio is going to go down to 35 instead of 39. So in simple language, if you are able to spend $39 today on your mortgage, on your property taxes and house expenses based off your $100 monthly income, you would only be able to spend $35 going forward. And there's another ratio called total debt servicing, which is, as of right now, it's 44%. So your house expenses plus your car loans plus your credit card balances, anything like that, whatever shows on your credit bureau, as of today, you could spend 44% of your income on those expenses, changing back to 42% on July 1st. Second change, and that is going to be a big one, actually, I personally think. As of right now, your minimum credit score requirement for CMHC to even look at your file is 600. Starting from July 1st, it's going to change to 680. So if there are 2 people or 3 people going on a mortgage, at least one person has to have minimum 680 score. Otherwise, they won't even look at the file. So the third one is non-traditional sources of down payment. So for example, as of right now, if I'm making very good income and I don't have a down payment, however, I have a line of credit or credit card, I could use that towards my down payment as long as my numbers allow. Starting from July 1st, that gets eliminated. Doesn't matter how much I'm making, doesn't matter if I can qualify, borrowed funds technically are not allowed going forward. So these are the three big changes CMHC is coming up with. Now, by saying that, there are three insurance companies, CMHC, Genworth, and Canada Guarantee. CMHC is the big one. It's a government one. They are the one they are making the changes. GE and CGI have claimed that they are not going to be making these changes as of right now. However, what we have heard, again, we have just heard this, that even though they are not making the changes, but they are also going to basically make some rule changes to their guideline as well. They are just going to make things strict, period. So they haven't basically said they're changing the rules as compared to these three things. However, there must be something going on which we are not aware of. As of right now, they're not making any changes. So,
sorry, Kanchan, we had a question here. They were asking if you could explain the third point, what that means.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's say right now I am running short on my down payment, for example. Let's say my down payment, I'm purchasing a $300,000 property. Minimum 5% down payment is required in this case, meaning $15,000. Let's say I have $10,000 and I'm running short on a $5,000. But I have a personal line of credit where I can borrow money from my personal line of credit to make up my $15,000 down payment. As of right now, that was okay. As long as based on my income, I'm still under 44% with using that line of credit. Because once I pull the money out of my line of credit, keep in mind, there's a monthly payment to be considered for that as well. So if as of right now, even if I'm borrowing money from my line of credit, but I am still based on that, I'm under 44%, banks are okay to lend you money for the mortgage. But starting from July 1st, doesn't matter what my income is, doesn't matter where my debt servicing sits, I am not allowed to borrow money from my line of credit, from my credit card, or from anybody. So technically, down payment should be your own funds. It can definitely be gifted funds, but it cannot be borrowed funds. Hope that clears up.
Yep,
Okay.
So sorry.
No, totally fine, totally fine. Perfect. She said, okay. Or he said, okay. I'm sorry if I'm just, because I can't see anybody. So, all right. So going forward, details. So give me 1 second. Okay. So here, that basically tells you the new revised criteria will not apply to any application that was approved prior to July 1st. So if somebody has already put an offer on the property and that application has already been submitted to CMHC prior to July 1st, meaning by June 30th, those mortgage applications would not have any impact of this changes. Okay. Now, if there is any material change on that application, for example, that application was done under one person's name and now that second person wants to go on the application or other way around, or if there's a down payment change, that is what we call material changes. If there's any material changes, then that application would have to follow under new rules. That means if we are not able to send it back to CMHC and that doesn't fit their criteria, we have an option to send those applications to Genworth or Canada Guarantee if there's any material changes in the application. Now, if there was an application done at another bank, it's coming up for renewal or something like that, and you want to switch it to another bank, as long as we are switching it as is, not making any changes to the application, meaning not making any changes to the mortgage amount, not making any changes to the amortization, keeping the person as is, meaning straight switch as is, then this new rule doesn't apply to you. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, impact on qualifying amount. That is a big, guys. Please pay attention to this one. So this is very important. So somebody, just to give you an example, if somebody is making a $75,000 income today with, let's say, no other big debts, and they're putting 5% down payment, as of right now, they can afford to purchase a $360,000 property. Now, starting from July 1st, under this new rules, your purchase power goes by $35,000. So meaning you would not be able to purchase more than $325,000 purchase price. So if you see, that is a pretty much a difference of close to 10 to 11%. So act fast. That's all I would say. If you guys already have a property in mind, act on it, put an offer, put that in front of your mortgage specialist before July 1st, if you can. Like July 1st is a holiday anyway, so there's technically one day left. If there's something, Kaylee and Andrea are right there, put an offer, shoot me the purchase price, and I act on it right away. No, but just to let you know, technically, as of right now, we are sitting at a stress test interest rate of 4.94. But with this change, practically, it technically is at 6.3. So that's how we look at it. So it bring your purchase power down.
And Kanchan, we just had a couple people that came in. So just for clarification, this is only with CMHC that this change is affecting people.
That is correct. That is correct. CMHC is the only one who has come forward and said that they're making changes. Canada Guarantee and Genworth, they are not making these changes as of right now, but in future they come back and they say we are making it, we can't control that. But as of right now, they're not making those changes. Only CMHC.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll move on to the next one here for you.
Perfect. Any questions on these changes, guys? Anybody? Okay.
Yeah, so there was one in the chat here. Can you see it?
From 44 to 42, 2%, but other debt is showing 39 to 35. Are we missing? Okay, so basically there are two kind of guidelines. One is called gross debt servicing, which is called GDS also in simple language. What that is, just your house expenses. So for example, I'm purchasing a condo. So my house expenses here would be my mortgage payment, my property taxes, my condo fees, and most 99% of the time heat is usually included in that. So I'm not gonna put that separate. So mortgage, property tax, condo fees. That is considered a part of gross debt servicing ratio. That expense is right now, that ratio allowed is 39%, meaning I can spend 39% of my income on these three expenses only. Starting from July 1st, this is gonna drop to 35. The other ratio is total debt servicing, meaning, of course, other than house expense, I would have a car loan, I might have a student loan, I might have a credit card, line of credit, and I might have some balance owing on those things too. So as of right now, I have additional 5% room of my income to spend on those expenses. That ratio as of right now is 44. That is gonna drop to 42. So these are two different ratios, and both the ratios should be in line for us to qualify. Does it make sense? Perfect. Any further question on this? All right. You can still ask me later too. That's absolutely not a problem. All right. So basically here we are covering the steps to homeownership. Technically.
Sorry, there's one more question.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay, I don't see that here. Okay.
Chat there from Lam.
Just got out of consumer proposal 3 months ago, have a TFS of 60, making about 60 a year. What do you think about getting a mortgage? Okay, so starting from July 1st, as we said, the minimum credit score for one individual, at least out of as many as going on the application, one person should hold a 680 score. If any of the people going on the mortgage doesn't have, none of them have 680 score, CMHC is not going to look at the file. It's unfortunate, but then we have another option. We can definitely present that to Genworth and CGI and hope they would be able to look at it. But coming out of consumer proposal, I would still assume that the score might be still a little bit lower. It's going to take you time to come back up. If I am wrong, then correct me. 3 months ago, coming out of proposal, it is a very short period of time. You will have to work on your rebuilding your credit history before you hit 680, and then we should be able to look at it.
Okay, I think there might be there we go.
All right, so basically these are few steps to kind of homeownership. So I always recommend everybody to plan, think about all the expenses involved. do your market research where you want to purchase, then put an offer, get a mortgage, and close the deal. These are the basic 6 steps of homeownership, and I will cover in the further details on the next slide. Katie, let's go to the next one. Okay, so what comes first? Home comes first or financing comes first? If you really ask me, I definitely say financing comes first. Definitely whoever bank you work with, talk to your bank and get a pre-approval. Pre-approval gives you a very clear picture on how much you can afford, what your guideline will be, and then you can basically go ahead and shop with the confidence. Plus you can secure your rate in the market. You know, if rate has to go up, your lower rates have been secure, but if rate goes down, you still get the lower rate. Okay, there's a question. Okay. All right, so yeah, we'll cover all the questions at the end, I guess. Okay, so let's go to the next screen. How much can I afford? Same thing which I basically touch base on the previous slides, that starting from July 1st, technically, I can spend maximum 35% of my monthly income, and monthly income meaning before tax income, on my house expense, on the mortgage, heat, property tax, and condo fee if applies. And I can spend total monthly payments of housing cost, other loans, credit cards, 42% of my monthly income before taxes. Okay. All right. So this is something which I highly recommend people to work on that. Anytime you're thinking of purchasing a property, start working on your down payment. Start early, save regularly with the continuous savings plan. All the banks have this continuous savings plan. So for example, just open a checking and a savings account, keep it for all your expenses. But every month, set up your account in a way that this much money goes from your checking to savings account, and try not to touch that. Put it as separate for your down payment. Take advantage of RRSPs, home buyers plan if applies. RRSP is definitely very important. That saves you a lot of taxes, especially for first time home buyers. And you can pull that money tax free to use it towards your down payment. And that's not considered borrowed funds, guys, just so you know. That's your own funds. You just pull it back, you don't pay any taxes, and you got to return it back into your RRSP in 15 years. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Down payment option. So again, you can purchase a property with as less as 5% down payment, and as much as even 100% down payment, pay cash if you have, definitely. So with the 5%, 10%, 15%, anything less than 20%, insurance companies are involved. They provide the mortgage insurance and they charge the premium based on your down payment. So in this example, if you're purchasing a property for $350,000 with a 5% down payment, the insurance premium is 4% one time, which adds up to $13,300 in this case, and that gets added on to your mortgage. With the 10% down payment, the premium is 3.10. With the 15%, it drops to 2.8, which I have listed here. But just so you know, if you're putting 15% down payment, the insurance premium cost is 2.80. And with the 20% down payment or more, there is no insurance companies involved. So they're out of the picture. Okay, more the better. Step 2, preparing for other expenses. So when you're purchasing a property, you should be very well aware of these expenses as well, which can add up. Appraisal fees. If you're putting 20% or more down payment, banks prefer to do an appraisal on the property just to kind of determine the market value of the property, and the cost has to be paid by the clients. And this is somewhere around $300, just to give you an idea. Home inspection fees. Again, if you wanna make sure that you wanna do the home inspection just to make sure the property is as per your guidelines and stuff, then the home inspection fees comes. Again, just to give you an approximate idea, somewhere around $400, $500. Legal cost, that is the lawyer's fees. So in order for you to purchase a property here, you need to involve a lawyer. And again, depending upon lawyer to lawyer, they can charge you anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000. Closing cost and moving expenses. Basically moving expenses, well, depending upon who you hire. I'm not gonna speak for that. The next one and the last one here, which I have put it as a property and fire insurance premium. Now keep in mind, guys, you cannot take possession of any house. I'm not gonna speak for condo here, because the condo fees, wherever you pay condo fees, usually that covers part of your property insurance. But if you're purchasing a house, you would not be able to get your keys if you do not provide a confirmation of property insurance to your lawyer. So this is by law, it's a requirement, it's must, and you have to be aware of, and it can cost you anywhere from $150 to $200 a month, somewhere around that. All right, moving on. Step 3, searching of the area, location, location, location. And as these two lovely ladies are sitting, they're literally at the perfect locations. Honestly, walks like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes walk, especially Shawnee Park. And even the other one, literally not even 2 minutes walk to the train station. Well, Andrea is sitting in downtown anyway, so here you go. So that's the perfect location anyway. What kind of homes you want to buy, purchase, your price range, and price range is very important. That's why I would emphasize on getting a pre-approval, so you basically know how much you can qualify for, right? That's something very important. Maintenance on the property, access to school, public transit, parks, that's what we talk about. So very important when it comes to searching criteria. Moving on. Fourth step, when you have already done all this homework, then put an offer. Put an offer, and what goes in an offer? Simple steps: address of the property, purchase price, deposit amount, how much you are putting down payment, that kind of stuff. What items are included in the purchase price, closing date, condition of financing, what that is. So you come to these lovely ladies, you put an offer, they give you around 5 days to 7 days, something like that, to get your financing done through the bank or whatever, any lender. So that is called condition of financing, that I'm giving you a deposit of, let's say, $1,000 today to secure this property, and you gave me 5 days, let me work on my mortgage, and if I come back and everything is all done, then we proceed further. We sign a waiver where we say that we are good to go for financing. So that's what condition of, if for some reason you're not able to get a mortgage, you can back off from that property and you do not lose your $1,000 which you have given as a deposit. Okay, and yeah, that's basically what it covers. So very important. Step 5, getting fine. Okay, so I said that in the previous stuff too, that okay, take a pre-approval. Now when I say pre-approval gives a clear picture on what banks feel comfortable giving your mortgage up to. However, getting a mortgage, when we have to finalize, let's say we are putting less than 20% down payment, then the file has to go to insurer. So this is where that condition of financing is very important, that you get 5 days. And what we do in that 5 days, we had already given you go ahead for a certain amount, but at this stage, with the property details, we send that file to CMHC or CGI or GE, and they have to make the final decision. If let's say you're putting 20% down payment, in these 5 days, we have to make sure that the property is worth what you're purchasing for. So we have to go ahead and do our appraisal within that much of time. So that's what is important here. And at this time, basically, you have to submit these kind of documents to us: purchase contract, MLS listing, if it is there's MLS listing, evidence of your down payment, income, any kind of another financial information which might be important to work on a mortgage application. We need all this at this stage of time. Okay, moving on. These are your mortgage options, guys. You want to go with a fixed mortgage or a variable interest rate mortgage? You want to go with a short term, long term? What kind of options do you want? Closed option or an open mortgage? What kind of amortization now? Amortization of up to 30 years only if you guys are putting 20% down payment or more. If we have a down payment of less than 20%, the maximum allowed amortization is 25 years. We cannot go past 25 years. Okay, very important, very important. All right. So again, same thing. You have to basically pay attention to these things. Do not go with just the rate. Everybody talks about rate these days. Rate is very, very, very important. We all work hard for our money. However, don't just get stuck to what is the rate. You have to look at the flexibility. What kind of options does that mortgage come with? What kind of flexibility? Is it portable mortgage? Portable meaning if I am able to sell this property, let's say in 3 years, and purchase another one, can I move the mortgage from one property to another? Pay attention to these kind of options. BMO mortgage protection option. We have a couple of options to protect your balances, to protect your payments. All the banks have some similar kind of option. So pay attention to all these things rather than just focusing on the rate. Okay, moving on. Okay, BMO mortgage protection insurance. So these are the options what we have on a BMO mortgages: balance protection and the payment protection. Balance protection basically covers, life insurance technically on your mortgage in the event something goes sideways, or critical insurance, meaning if something, God forbid, you're diagnosed with some critical illnesses, so your balance, the whole mortgage balance is paid in full. Payment protection covers the monthly mortgage payments in the event you get disabled or you lose your job. So we can definitely talk about this more if you really have anything to talk about. But these kind of options are available on all the mortgages, most of the time provided by all the banks. All right. Okay, step 6, closing day. So what happens on that? Like you meet with your lawyer, you provide them with if any other document is left, any remainder. Now, remainder of the down payment mostly is usually collected by the lawyer a couple of days in advance. But if something is left, you provide them on this day. Any other adjustments or any closing cost and whatnot has to be done that day. And what we as a lenders do, we make sure your lawyers get the funds in their trust account on time, first thing in the morning, so they are able to give you the keys in the afternoon. So that's what our part is here on your closing day. All right. And then your lawyer basically registers the property under your name, advances the money to the seller, delivers the required closing documents to your lender, and arranges for you to come pick up the keys. Yay, that's an exciting part at that time. And here basically moving day. Then of course, usually the day you close the deal, people prefer to move it the same day. We just basically recommend to keep it some separate day, because if there's some delays in something and here your movers are waiting. So we always recommend that if you can pick up your closing day and moving day on a separate days. But yeah, you can still pick it on the same day as well. No big deal. All right. Any questions at this time? I'll be happy to take it.
I think there was a previous question.
All right, let's go back here. Planning to put 20% down payment. Do I have to follow CMHC as well? No, you don't have to follow CMHC in that case. However, banks still would have to, again, yeah, we would not have a guideline of 680 score. However, bank would still have to feel comfortable. Your file would have to be reviewed by credit officer, and yeah, we'll still have to kind of take it from there. All right, is the insurance premium for less than 20% deposit the same percentage regardless of the house or the price? House price has nothing to do with the percentage of the insurance premium. If you put less than 20% down payment, you'll have to pay insurance premium. If it's 5% down payment, your insurance premium is 4%. If you go to 10% down payment, your insurance premium becomes 3.1%. If you go to 15% down payment, then the premium is 2.80. You go to 20%, 0. Make sense? Okay, with the new changes, credit and other loans, they have increased from current 5 to 7%, previously 39 plus 5, 44%. And proposed 35. That is correct, actually. That's what they have been making changes now, starting from July 1st. They have definitely given you a little bit more room on to other debts. Yes, 7% as compared to 5% right now. But yes, they have dropped the gross debt servicing to 4%. That's correct. Okay. I've been paying mortgage for 30 years, but every time I have to renew mortgage, I'm given 30 years. How will I pay? No, they basically, you're not forced to take 30 years. They might have been doing this just to kind of keep your payment low or something, but you definitely go and tell your bank that I don't want to go back to 30 years. Keep my amortization as is. So we definitely are able to do those kind of things. Okay. How about newcomer who just arrived a month ago, have 20 to 30% down payment? How likely to get approved? Again, these kind of things are looked case to case basis. There's no yes, we'll give you a mortgage, or no, we will not give you a mortgage. There's not one answer to that. We will have to review definitely the whole thing case to case basis. You would have to offset your credit history also. Keep in mind, you just came, you don't have enough credit history. For us, it is very important from the lender's perspective. We have to make sure that, you know what, you will be making payments on time. So yes, you might have a very strong down payment to start with. However, credit history is also a very important factor in here. If you're brand new, you might be able to provide us with an international credit history, which we can review, or you can bring 35% down payment. Then we also have certain option in that area, but definitely reach out to me and we will be happy to discuss case to case basis. It's completely case to case basis. Okay. Any further questions? What are your general floating rates for 5-year closed if the credit history is good? How much prime? Okay, let me make one thing very clear, because people are under the impression that your credit history is strong, your rate would be lower. No, unfortunately, rate has nothing to do with the credit history. Yes, we definitely prefer good credit history. However, rate doesn't change, unfortunately, with the big banks. I am not sure about the private broker side, but with any big 6 banks, it doesn't change with your credit history. Now, as far as the 5-year fixed close right now is concerned, if the down payment is less than 20%, we have been able to even pull 1.99 on a 5-year fix. But by saying that, would I be able to get that for every single individual? I am not gonna say I would be successful, but it's pretty good chances, okay? As far as the variable is concerned, again, I would say I was able to get 1.90 for one individual, again on an insured mortgage, and that sits at prime minus 0.55. Prime right now is 2.45. We follow Bank of Canada's prime rate, just like some other lenders, they don't, we do. So Bank of Canada's rate is 2.45 and we stick with that. All right. Prime -1 or prime -0.5 for closed. See, closed has nothing to do with the prime. Okay, so closed mortgages have their own rates. Only, yeah, it's variable close. Definitely, it is called variable close. Variable means rate can change anytime. But yes, it is 5-year closed mortgage, meaning you are staying with us for 5 years. And as I said, it's prime minus 0.5 to 0.55. Variable mortgage, variable open mortgage is pretty expensive, very expensive, and that's usually preferred by investors who just need the mortgage for, let's say, I don't know, a couple of months only. So if you talk about that, is usually at prime plus 1.5%. Open mortgage, open because there's no commitment. You can take off your mortgage in 3 months, 6 months, and you can even shut down your mortgage anytime. So there's no commitment. So that's why open mortgages are very expensive. Next question. Let's take it. Is variable open same as line of credit? No, it is still a mortgage. You still make a regular kind of principal and interest payment versus on a line of credit. Line of credit works like just like your credit cards, for example. So you pull the money anytime, you put the money back anytime. But in the mortgages, there is a certain mortgage amount set up to pay on a monthly basis, which covers your principal and interest. Line of credit, you have completely, let's say, paid off your line of credit, you can re-pull the money back again at any given time. In mortgages, it doesn't work like that. Once mortgage is paid, it's paid. Hope that helps.
These are great questions.
In variable open, you cannot pay back like line. You can, but you cannot pull it back. So let's say again, I have a mortgage of 300,000. I got lucky, won 649. I paid off 200,000 in my mortgage. Now my mortgage balance is left 100,000, but I cannot borrow from that mortgage. But if it was a line of credit, that 200,000, I can pull it back anytime. But in the mortgage, I can't do that.
All right. Well, I think that probably wraps it up unless anybody has any other questions. We're happy to send out a copy of this video as well. We'll be posting it onto both of our Fish Creek Exchange and Theodore websites. But if you guys have any questions, you want to take advantage of these great low interest rates and our fantastic promotions that we're running at both Fish Creek Exchange and Theodore, we'd love to set up a time to chat with you guys individually. And I think that's probably it. Thanks so much, Kanchan, for joining us and filling us in with all your fantastic insight and information as always.
And guys, my contact information is right here. I'm sure some of you might still have questions. Feel free to shoot me a text message, email, and I'll be happy to answer. We are not done. If you have any questions, doesn't matter where your mortgage is, you can still reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Okay?
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.